Welcome to Moments for Moms. I'm your host, Ashley McLean, and I'm so excited that you have joined me today. This show is a part of the Amplify Podcast Network, where ideas echo and voices resonate. So, if you're anything like me, moments are something that as moms, we don't get many of. My hope is that you can walk away from each episode encouraged, inspired, and recharged to continue on this amazing and sometimes exhausting journey we're on together called motherhood. So consider this your invitation to grab a cup of coffee or tea and take this moment just for you. Welcome to this episode of What If Moments for Moms. I'm so thankful that you've decided to tune in today. I know that you have a busy mom life, just like we do. I have the sweetest guest, Mande Sattia, with me today. She is an author, a mom. I'm just so excited for you to hear her. We're going to talk about part one of a postpartum depression series. So I'm very excited. I know this is something that a lot of us have been through, and I'm just excited to talk about it. So grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea and take this moment just for you. Hey everyone, welcome back. So excited that you're here to join us today. Again, we're talking about part one of a two-part series on postpartum depression, fear, anxiety, all those kind of things. So excited to have this conversation. I know it's a really hard topic, but I think it's something that really just needs to be talked about. I'm so thankful for my guest. Mande, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Hi. Oh, thank you for having me. I am so excited to be with you. It is a hard topic, but we're going to have a little bit of joy in the midst of it. I
100%.
swear.
Yes, I believe you. I believe you. I wish you were here in person, but this is
I know,
so fun.
me too. I got to make it to your neck of the woods. I've never been to Nashville, ever. I've never, ever been to Nashville, and I know it has a lot to offer. So I got to make it down there for sure.
You should totally come down here. Yes,
for
yes.
Sure. Yes.
All right, let's just dive right in because we don't have a ton of time and there's a lot to talk about. So let's talk first. Let's start with like the overview of postpartum, your experience, kind of what that looks like.
Yeah. So I'm the mom of two daughters. One is nearly 21 and one is nearly 16. So I'm on kind of the back end of parenting, and I'm many years out from postpartum depression. But it's still one of my favorite things to talk about because the more we talk about it, the less it has this hold on new mamas and the less it becomes a stigma. It's just crazy to me that we have protocols in place. We have tons of books you can read. We have lots of resources. I know that doctors check for this. We talk about it, but we don't really talk about it. We don't talk about our individual experiences and how it created legacies in our families, how it affected relationships and how we came out of it. And so it's one of my most favorite topics. So I'm many years past it, but I came out of two bouts of postpartum depression. Okay. So I had one for each kid, one for each kid, two babies and two bouts. And I was someone that did struggle a little bit with mental health leading up into my pregnancy and delivery with my first daughter, but I was still incredibly taken aback by the, I would say the suddenness of the onset of the symptoms that happened to me. I was not, I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. I distinctly remember the day that we were supposed to be released from the hospital, sitting on the hospital bed with my sweet little newborn in her carrier next to me, and this swirling in my stomach. And I felt I had never felt before. And it wasn't the new mama apprehension. It wasn't the, oh, I've never been a mom before. How will I handle this? It was something greater than that. And I didn't know it at the time, but I think that was the start of postpartum depression for me. It hit hard and fast early on.
Wow. Yeah.
And I spiraled. And so, I mean, I remember my husband coming home midday at lunch to check on me because I think that there was such a concern about how I was doing. And he really advocated on my behalf for me with my doctor to help me get help because I didn't get a ton of offering from the doctor I had at the time. And so I'm very, very thankful that he was watching. And then the second time around wasn't nearly as bad. And at that point, because I had come through it and I had been out the other side, I I made the phone call that time. I said to the doctor, I'm not feeling well. I think I need some help. And so all these years later, I love to talk about this so that we can get women the help that we need, Moms need help. Moms need help.
Yes.
Moms need help. So that was my experience with postpartum depression. And the first bout lingered for years. The second bout was much, much shorter. And so I feel like I've been on both sides of the spectrum.
So when you say, because I think that there's this stigma when we do hear it talked about, it's what I've heard in the past is I want to hurt myself. I want to hurt my baby. And I didn't feel that. I felt overjoyed with my baby, but I was angry inside and stressed. So what are some of the things that you physically felt to identify that it was that? Because I think that the stigma is like, you want to hurt yourself or your child. And that's kind of where the discussion ends.
Yeah, I think that so the discussion of postpartum depression, in my experience, exists in two extremes. You either have the almost kind of cutesy word, baby blues. We call it baby blues, which essentially, sometimes I feel like it invalidates the gravity of what a new mom could be experiencing, whether it really is just sort of a hormonal shift or postpartum depression. Calling it baby blues doesn't really give an example of full expression of what you're dealing with there. Or on the other hand, you're right. You hear this person needs to be, they're not safe for themselves or anybody else, that we need to intervene. And I don't think most women with postpartum depression actually live in those two extremes. They exist, but I think most of us are somewhere in the middle. And I'm so glad you said anger. I was talking with my coworkers about this. I said, I'm going to be on this amazing show and we're going to talk about postpartum depression. If you were watching, what would be the one thing you would want me to talk about? And my coworker, who I adore, she had a bad bout as well. And she said, talk about the anger, talk about the rage that I felt, because it's a word that I think we're not allowed to say because it's scary. Right. And rage is like a secondary emotion. Anger is a secondary emotion. It's really the output of the sadness, the frustration, the confusion that you feel. The exhaustion. It's like layers, there's so many layers. And I think that even rage at myself, like I felt betrayed that I had been, working all these months up to getting this little baby. And now I don't even feel like I can take care of it. I don't even know how to help myself, let alone a baby. And so there was a lot of anger and a lot of rage. And then of course the shame comes because you feel all these things and you don't know what to do with them at all. So I'm so glad you said that because it was the very first thing she said. So that's what it feels like. And then on a practical level, right, if you open a Google search, you're going to find disordered sleep and eating, mood swings, irritability, all those things, which are, experienced all of those for sure. That's
and it is so hard.
Feels.
I'm glad that you brought up the hormones too, because there is that is this postpartum? Is this just because I just birthed a human, right?
I just gave a human birth.
There's a human.
Oh my gosh, I know. It's crazy.
We're not sleeping, not eating normal.
No, you're not exercising.
Everything's
if you're
different.
An exerciser. Yes.
I don't think I was prepared I was so excited. We tried for quite a while. No, I don't have quite the infertility story to the extreme as so many of my friends and people that I've talked to have, but we did. I still had the hurt and the negative pregnancy tests and the tears. Like we had that. I was 37 when I had Charlie. I felt like I was too old. I was geriatric pregnancy.
You're not old. You're not old.
Anybody that has a geriatric pregnancy, you just get extra ultrasounds. So it's actually awesome.
That's right. And maybe bed rest.
Yeah, it's fine. But I just I was so excited to have him because we finally have this baby.
Absolutely.
And I didn't realize how much of myself. My husband even said to me, and Charlie's almost 3. We finally went away. Maybe I think it was last weekend, 2 weekends ago, maybe, to a wedding, and we just one night, an hour away. And he said in the car to me, because I was just thinking about Charlie. That's what I do.
Yeah,
and
consuming.
It is. He goes, you do know that being a mom is your full identity right now. And I was like,
oh, wow.
That,
Whoa.
Right? I was
Whoa.
like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
thanks so much. And I don't think that he meant it to impact me the way that it did.
Sure. Of course.
But I'm thankful that he said it, because he's absolutely right. Like, I do work full time. I do the show, like I cook and clean and grocery shop and do all the things that all the moms do. Like we do all of the things.
All of it.
But I have literally like, if I just sat quiet and thought like, hey, what is Ashley like to do? What?
Yes.
I don't know. Cause I've kind of in the last 3 years lost myself to being a mom, which isn't bad, but there's gotta be that balance.
Absolutely. Because it wasn't the only thing that God created you to be.
Right. Yes.
That was never the intention for motherhood or fatherhood, right?
Yeah.
That's, you are given many, many assignments. That was just one of them.
Yes,
for sure.
That's true. Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break. So now we're back with my friend Mandy, and we are going to continue our conversation on postpartum depression. And Mandy, I know we kind of left off talking about what it feels like, what it looks like. Now, how do we get out of it? Is there hope for somebody going through postpartum depression?
Yes. The great news is, statistically speaking, I'm not a professional, but most of us make it out of it. Yeah. And I think the message that is so important for moms to hear is that now is not forever. Now is so not good forever. That was something that the Lord shared with me way back when I was in those early days. Now is not forever. And if you can keep that mantra in your head, then find the practical steps of getting out of postpartum depression become infinitely easier, right? Because you've got that perspective in mind. One thing that I think is so important in the Christian community to remind women is that faith and medicine are not in competition or opposition to each other. Luke was a physician, right? One of the chosen disciples was a doctor, and that was purposeful, right? Jesus knew that this could become a little bit of a discussion for us later on. And so he highlighted a doctor. And so for my story, I ended up utilizing both therapy and medication to find my way out of postpartum depression. It was a temporary use, and it made all the difference. Made it possible for me to get up in the morning and take care of myself and take care of my baby, get back to work. Getting back into my workday ended up becoming incredibly important to my healing process. And I still work full time to this day. Because I realized the importance on my mood that it really had. So just for me, you have to find what works for you. And so for me, those were the steps that I had to take. There are so many resources that are available to moms. But I think that the most important part is having a community and a support system. Like I said, I had my husband, but church communities are really, really important. Friends are important. Moms, your own mom is really important. Sisters and siblings, aunts, and having someone that will advocate for you. And I've told a few new moms that one of the things that I think is really important is for you to have a conversation with your partner before you ever have the baby that says, here are the things that I want you to look for in me when I get home from the hospital. If you see any of them happening, I need your help. I need your help. I need you to advocate for me. Because honestly, it's a lot for a partner to, how do you even know what to do if you don't have the conversation? They're also dealing. And by the way, dads can get postpartum depression too. So, you know, so watch each other have that. I wish my husband and I had had that conversation beforehand, but he really came in clutch for me. So that was great. I know. But that's just incredible. That conversation, have that conversation and remember that now is not forever. Now is not forever. And I think just doing, one time I had a very wise woman say, just do the one next thing. Don't think, don't think of the 10 things you need to do. Do the one thing you need to do. What's the next logical thing that you have to do right now? If you could take it in, which is actually great advice for moms. Anybody, not postpartum moms, just any mom, right? Just do the one next thing. And that becomes a huge weight off your shoulder because you just need to think about taking care of yourself in that moment and taking care of your baby. the laundry will wait. The laundry will wait. Right?
Yes.
It will.
And I
It
think
really
that
will.
was something that was really hard for me because I am such like a perfectionist and I can be like super
Same.
OCD and I want
Yeah.
everything clean and tidy. And so like for
Sure.
me with the
Yeah.
laundry can wait, that
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
seems ridiculous, but it was really hard
Feels
for me.
impossible. Yeah,
It does. And like, I
Feels
don't want
impossible.
dishes in the sink and I fix the
Yeah.
throw pillows before we go to bed. And my husband thinks that that's ridiculous. I'm like, when I wake up, I want it to look nice. Like,
Yeah.
I want to have my coffee with nice throw pillows.
That's right. Absolutely.
But in that
Yes.
season, like the throw pillows really didn't matter.
Right. Exactly.
Nor did the laundry. But
yes.
it was still mentally challenging for me because that is just how I'm wired and who God created me to be.
It was your norm. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And now all your norms are out the window. Yeah.
They are. So the funny thing is that Charlie, he's definitely picked up some of the tendencies, which I am not mad about. So he cleans up his playroom every single night.
That's great.
Yes. And if he doesn't, we go in there in the morning and he'll say, it's a mess. It is a mess. And I'm like,
oh my gosh. One day he's going to get married and make someone very happy.
I know. This is awesome. He'll bring, like, he's now in this moment where he brings his plate to me at the sink, which is, it's wonderful. But he also just like holds it like sideways. So everything is perfect.
Now it's on the floor.
But he's helping. So I'm just grateful that he's helping me. Yeah. But I just remember being in the midst of those moments. And when I had Charlie during COVID. So we had him December 2020. Yeah. So it was our norm was already not normal. Yep. Everything was different. There wasn't a place to go work out unless you did it at home. And I remember after we had him, people from church would come and put like casseroles outside of our door and wave because it's, our family would come in. But other than that, we weren't around anybody for quite a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
So finding a new norm in the midst of like feeling isolated. And I think that even though it might not be COVID anymore, technically, or like isolation and people can have visitors in the hospital and all the things, I do still think that there is a sense of isolation for new moms.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So whether COVID or not, there's still that like isolation. Definitely. And I think that if we keep ourselves in that place, it could quickly spiral and set us to the point of postpartum.
Yes. So it spirals quickly. And I often think that, so treatment for postpartum should be swift, but the healing of postpartum takes time. And so make the treatment the thing that you run to, that you got to have it now, immediately. The support has to happen now, but and then it stops the spiral, right? It stops the spiral because it can get ugly. We've heard stories. We've heard the stories.
Yes.
They're tragic and they don't have to get to that point. Postpartum depression is treatable. It is fixable.
Absolutely.
Doesn't have to be that way.
Yes.
So sprint to the treatment and then take your time healing because you've got time. Be kind to yourself. Yeah. Be kind.
That's so good. Mm-hmm. That's so good. Yes. And I think with anything, if you think about healing, like the hurt happens like that, right?
Oh,
whether it's in an instant or emotional. But I mean, there's things that I'm still walking through from years ago where I still like sometimes
childhood
trigger me and I'm like, oh wait, I thought that was gone.
So trauma.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is that?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, in anything, I mean, and I love that, like sprint to the treatment.
Yeah.
In any hurt, any healing, like, like sprint to God, like sprint to Him. You know what I mean? Sprint there.
Get there as fast as you can. Yeah.
Yes. Talk to somebody. You're not alone.
Talk to somebody. It's okay. You're in great company. The statistics are like 15% of all new moms will have postpartum depression.
Right.
You're definitely not alone. And the more you talk about it, the more you find people that are like, oh, me too.
Yes.
Me too.
It's incredible. I
it really is. It really is.
Certain things. Yeah. And as soon as I opened up to a friend and she's like, oh yeah, I have that. And I'm like, oh, like I'm not dying.
Great. Let's talk about it. Yes.
And I just immediately, just that small, like statement that I made to her, so much freedom, so much like relief. That immediately started me on the path of like, wait a minute, I am not alone. I feel like the devil loves to make us think that it's just us. It's only me. I'm the only one dealing with this. Like all of the negative.
Talk about isolation, whether we're really truly isolated or not, he mentally isolates us all the time. all the time, right?
Yes.
And that's why no matter how many years you get past postpartum depression, keep talking about it and keep saying it, because then new mamas see someone who came out the other side, right? And they're like, oh, wow, there's hope. As you said in the very beginning, we can get to the end of this tunnel and there is light at the end for sure. For sure.
There's so much. Thank you so much. We are just about
out of time. Thank you for having me.
Yes. We'll make sure to put up your contact information and everything so people can see what you've written in your book and all of the amazing things that you're doing. Yes, we'll have that all up on the screen for you. Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.